So we have our aggregate function. Before we can do anything, let's query our data. Select all from employee. Now, before you can do that, you have to use tutorial. You set your database tutorial. Okay. So let's execute this. Good. Now let's select all from employee. And see. Now look at it now. We have first name, other names, DOB, job titles, department. Can you see? So good. So let's continue querying our data. So now our aggregate function, we have various aggregate functions. We have the count function, we have the main function, we have max, we have standard deviation, we have variance, we have average, we have grouping, we have sum, and a whole lot of them like that. So I'll be fast about this. So let's start with this count function. Select count all from employee. Count all from employee. So let's see. So we have 32,928 rows in this data. So I want this, I don't want column, it's writing no column name. I want it to name it as total count. So you just say as total count. Then you run the code again. Good. So our total count is 32,928. So I want to select, let's query this data. Select first name. Select first name. What am I writing? Select first name. First name. Other name. Other names. Then let's say count. I want to show you something. Count all from employee where department equals place. Okay, let's run this. I'm expecting this to return an error for us, and I'll tell you why. Yes, look at it. It says column employee does first name is invalidly selected because it is not contained in either an aggregate function or the group by function. Now, why? Because whenever you are using an aggregate function and we have something like this, first name, other names, which are not aggregate functions as well, what you just have to do is you have to define its own select statement, which means for this count, I will have select count this from employee, then as total count, from employee where department equals office. Good. So you put it into brackets, bracket it. Good. So let's run this. Now can you see? Now because the total count is, it will keep repeating the total count because normally it's supposed to return a single result. But since my first name and last name extends, so that's why it will also what keep extending. So you can see 32,000 where the department is what is please. Okay, let me add this department or department, the comma. So let's run this. Now can you see? Can you see? So that is it. So let's use select, 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 count, or as total count, as total count, comma, sum or as total sum, comma, average, find the whole average and name it as average salary. Oh, sorry. I want to use count annual salary, count annual salary, sum annual salary. We can't sum all because not all of them. Sum annual salary, average annual salary. Okay. Then comma, we have after average, let's see, we have max, max annual salary as maximum salary. Can you see? Comma, mean, mean annual salary as minimum salary. So this is also all these are aggregate function. We have variance annual salary as variance salary, variance total, then standard deviation, right? STD, EV, annual salary as standard total, then from employee. So you need to you need to specify the table where you are selecting from. So it's from employee. So all these function, count function, sum function, average function, max function, mean function, uh, variance function, standard deviation function, they are all called aggregate functions. They are all called aggregate. Have I used some? Okay, I have used. Now, if I should now run this, I should run this code. Let's see. Execute. Can you see? Total count, total sum, average salary, maximum salary, minimum salary, variance total, standard deviation total. So I can filter this. I can say where difference equals place. So which means I want you to only do all these things where I have my department to be place. So let's see. Can you see the total count of those people who belongs to the police department? We have 13,568, and its total sum, their total annual sum is this, their total average sum is this, total maximum sum is this. So their minimum salary, variance, total standard deviation, and the like. So this is um this is a simple way of using your aggregate function. You can't use the aggregate function with other this thing without using your select statement. I've discussed that in the beginning. Now, let's say I want to run this code again. Let me just copy this. I want to run this code again. So let me just copy it and paste it again. Now I want where ID. I want where ID. So all these are just like filtering. You know, when you are dealing with Excel, you learn how to filter data. So this is also like filtering in SQL. So where ID between 1, and since we have about there's not 13,000, it's even more than that, 32,000 rows in this data. So let's say when ID is between 1 to 1,000, or let's say 10,000. So let's say 1 to 10,000. Let's say. Can you see? So the total count is 7,772. This is not up to that. Okay, let's see. Because this total count is not complete. Let's see. Let's use 5,000. The total count is not complete. Okay, the total count from employee. Okay, their annual salary. Okay. Yeah, there are some that they don't have annual salary according to the data. Let me view the data again. Let's see. Because I'm expecting this too. Let's view the data again. Okay, yeah. There are some salaries that we have null. Okay, good. There are some other salaries that what are null. So let me just reduce my ID. Okay, now I specify that my ID is between 1 and 5,000, which means that between 1 and 5,000, the number of those people that have the annual salary to be specified is what? They are what? 3,869. And this is the total sum. This is the average salary. This is the maximum salary. This is the minimum salary. This is the variance total. And this is their what? Standard deviation total. So let's continue. So that is the next function we'll be moving to is our scalar and string function. Scalar and string function. So let's comment this. Ctrl K, Ctrl C. Good. Now scalar and string function. Another scalar and string function, though I have used some of them in our previous classes. We have the concat function. For example, I said select concat first name, comma, this, comma, other names from employee where ID between 1 and 500. So I don't want to query much. So let's see this. Good. So let me name it first name as name. So let's query this data again. Okay, I want space. There's no space there, so I want space there. Okay, good. Now this concat is a string function. We use it to perform operation on what? On string. Aside from concats, we have difference, we have chow, we have format, we have L trim, that's the left trim, we have the right trim, we have the lower, we have the upper. We've used lower in our previous classes, and we've used upper in our previous class. Okay, let's just see. Let's see. We have concat these as names, comma, lower first name. You see that this first name is in capital form, lower first name as lower name, comma, upper other names. Now, don't forget that your concat function is used to concatenate two columns together. Upper other names as upper name, comma. So we have our L trim. Okay, we'll do that. Not now. Let me just run this. So let's run this. What do we have? Now, can you see our name? The first one, it is a concat. The second other column, we have the lower name, and the other one we have what? We have our upper. Now, how do we use our left string? How do we use our left, our right, and the likes? Okay, let's do that. Now, select left. Select left. So we have first name, which means from the left, select the first name, and 4 as first F name from employee. So what will happen to this name? Let's see. What will happen to this? Can you see? It displays only the first 4 letters since I'm using left. Now if I should use right, select right. So it should display those names from the right. Can you see? From the right, it will count the 4 names from the right for the first name. Can you see? So we have that. Also, we can use one of those string functions. We have reverse. So you can use select reverse first name, reversed first name as reverser from employee, Okay. So let's run this. Execute. Oh, sorry. So if you reverse the name, can you see? This is Aaron. It is now Nora. Can you see? So we have our reverse. We have our reverse function. Also, we have other ones that we can use. We can use our L trim and our right trim. So let's use our left trim. Our L trim is also known as our left trim. Okay, let's see. L trim. L trim. Now, the meaning of this L trim is that if we have space in our name from the left, it will trim them, you understand? So there won't be any space. As you can see, look at this first name now. I'm having spaces at this place. So let's see, let's use our right trim. So let's copy this. So I'll trim to the right. So we trim that. So it has been trimmed. So there's no any space there. So we also have our trim. That one is, instead of, sometimes you want to trim for the left, you want to trim for the right. If you want to trim generally, you can just use the trim function. So all these are what that string functions. Can you see? So it has trimmed them. So that's it. That's it. We have other ones. You can always read them. We have data length. We have data length. Let's see. Select data length. Data length. First name. As length from employee. So we have data length also. Now can you see 10, 10, 14, 12, 12? Can you see? Those are those data length. Can you see? So all these are what? They are string. We have string operations. So the next one we're moving on to is our wildcard. What do we mean by wildcard? We have some wildcard. So I want to comment this. We have wildcard in SQL, and we have some of them, like we have percentage, we have this, we have this, we have this. Let me see, we have this, we have this. Okay. So I'll be commenting this also. These are the wildcards. I don't know if there are more than that, but these are the ones I know for now. So how do we use this wildcard? How do we use this wildcard? We can use this wildcard here. Okay, I want to copy this again. I want to copy this again. Let's see. Now, here I have where ID is between 1 and 5,000. So I can just say where first name, first name, like. So you use like. Now that like means you don't have the idea. You don't have the idea of which name you want to calculate. But let's assume you want to know these details, the annual salary, total count, and the likes for those people whose name begin with A. You understand? Those people whose name begin with A. So you just write like A, then you put your percentage sign. Can you see? That percentage, it represents any string of 0 or what more characters. So you mean that after A, there are some other strings. It might be no string, but in as much as I start with A, the name might be ordinary A, so it doesn't matter. So that's what you mean. So let's count this. Now, can you see? So in order for us for better visualization, let's see, select first name, so we can understand this better. Other names, comma, then we have department, from employee, where first name, like, it means our first name begins with what? With A. So let's see, just put a percentage sign. Now let's run this now. Now, if you look at all these, their first name begins with A. You won't see any B there. Can you see? Because we said where my first A like what? Can you see AZ, AY, AD, AZ? Can you see? So what if I want to say, okay, where the first name ends with A? What will I do? So assuming we want to query those people whose first name ends with A, what you just do is to put the A at the back of what? At the back of percentage. Now let's see. Can you see A? If you look at all this, it all ends with what? With A's. Can you see? Can you see? Okay, let me use, since A is too common, let me use N. N. Can you see? Aaron, Samson. Can you see? Can you see? N, N, N. Now let's say NA. Name ends with NA. Let's see. Can you see? So that's a wildcard for you. So now what if, just trying to give different instances. What you mean is that, okay, anywhere in the names, there is AZ. Now we put in a percentage sign at the beginning, and you also want to put it at what? At the end. Now to do that, let's run this. AZ, can you see AZ? AZ, can you see? So AZ, can you see AZ, 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 can you see? Can you see? AZ, can you see? This is AZ, AZ, can you see? So that is your this thing for you. Now, what if you are trying to say, okay, let's use other wildcard, where first name any single character. I'm coming. Now, what does this mean? Can you see? It means that whose name has this, what's it called? This underscore represents this wildcard underscore means any single character. So any single character, then followed by A. Can you see JA, JA, LA, MA, MA? Can we all see that? So we have that. So what if we put in double? Can you see DEA, IZA? Can you see KWA, LEA, and the likes? So that one represents single character. Okay, you can also say, you can also say it begins with A, it begins with A, then it begins with A, then we have other letters, we have M and a letter, which means M will be the second to the last letter before the last letter. You understand? And the name must begin with, it must start with A, then I don't know, any other thing can be at the middle. It can be anything. Then the last two digits of the name must end with M something. It's either MA, NB, MC, MD, M, anything. But M must be the second to the last. Now, can you see MS? Can you see this Abrams begins with A? Then we have other things. And the last two is M, any letter. Now, what if I have S here? So it means I mean that after M, there's another letter, then S. So those are the three letters that must end the first name. Now let's query this. Can you see MOS, MAS, 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 MES, MES, MES? Can we see that? So that is how to use our what? Our second wildcard. So we have another wildcard which is this, this. Now it means any single character within, okay, now let me say within B to C. I think we can use this within B to C, which is no, B to D, sorry. So between B to D, let's see, none, none, none. B to F, do we have any? None. B to M, do we have any? No. Okay. Now let's say it starts with B. Now we can also do it like this. You can also say B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, F, G, H, I. Okay. Let's run this. We have now. Let me see. Now, what if I want it to be something? I can just say, I should put percentage here now. I'm expecting which set of data. Now, this means that the number ends with one of those things that after a letter must be there. This percentage represents that there is a letter in front followed by any of these letters in the brackets, which means it might be B, it might be C. Okay, let's say they all start with, they must start with all these letters B to I. So you just put the percentage sign at the end, and you want it to end with J followed by a last letter. So this means that the letter will start with any of these B, C, D, E, F. The first name will start with any of this B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I. Then other letters can follow, and the last two letters must be J something. So let's see. Can we see? This starts with B, and the last letter is JR. Can you see? B, C, D, JR, E, JR, JR, JR. Can you see? So that's how to use our third um our third wildcard. So the last one we'll be talking about is, last wildcard we'll be discussing is our not. You understand? So not within the range of a character, we use not. We use not. This is it. These are our nots. Can you see? Let me put my, can you see? Let oh, sorry. My queries are just running over and over again. I didn't select that. Okay, good. Now look at it. Meaning that this means that the letter must not start with A, not A. Can you see? I'm not having any A at the beginning. So it mustn't start with A. So we have not A. So if I should put this sign at the beginning, it means it mustn't what ends with what? with A. So we look at our code, none of them ends with A. You run, can you see? Can you see none of them ends with A? So our wildcard, you can use them in group depending on what you want to do. So there are easy ways to query your data. Also, you can say where our first name, like man, let us assume you don't know, but you know that person's name. There's something like man in the person's name, and you need to query it. You can just say like man. So you mean there is man in that person's first name. Let's see. Do we have, can you see man, 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 man at the middle? So this percentage, it means that the man can be anywhere. But if you just want the man to be at the end, then you just put one. Can you see man, 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 man? Can you see that? So that is it. So the next one we'll be moving on to our date function. Moving on to our date function. So we'll continue that in our next class, date function. Thank you for coming.